Hi everyone, this is the release 15.1 planning issue. I'm Chris Bellani, the product manager for the release stage. I'm here with Hyana, acting product designer for the release stage. So we'll review what we have planned for 15.1. I'll start with the goals for the milestone. The broad theme is customer issues. We've had a lot of great feedback and some requests in terms of features for many of our categories. We'd like to start addressing some of those in this milestone. So more details on those when we go into the issues. I'm really excited about tackling those as well. And then also instrumentation. We've been doing a lot more PI analysis for our stage. And now that we've also launched a few features that we've discussed in the past few milestones, we'd like to add instrumentation to better understand how our customers and users are using those great new features and where we can make improvements. Okay, so in terms of deliverables for engineering this milestone, we have a good set of lists, it's a good set of issues. Let's go into them. So the first one is create annotated tags with releases API. So today, what we can do is create releases right from your CI jobs. This iteration enhances that capability by allowing users and organizations to specify an annotated message for that tag as part of the release API. So this will, again, allow users to add additional info and context for tags that will also be incorporated into releases. The next one is something pretty similar. It's adding the same sort of message to the GraphQL Release API. So again, adding that functionality to make sure we're consistent across our APIs. The next issue here is non-members of a project can subscribe to new release notifications, but they will not be sent to them. So this is a bug currently in our system. It's also a usability related issue, so we want to make sure we handle this properly. Right now, users can check that checkbox in terms of getting these notifications, but we're not actually sending them. So obviously we want to make sure that that behavior remains consistent and the system and the notifications behave the way users are expecting them to behave. All right, the next two, as I mentioned, are instrumentation related. And so we've released our MVC in a few iterations of our deployment approval feature. Now we want to make sure we're instrumenting that properly. We get a good accurate count of the number of approvals, and so we can track adoption over time. The next one related to that is counting the number of environments that are actually leveraging that deployment approval capability. So again, we want to monitor adoption, usage patterns, and figure out areas where we can improve that capability. Okay, the next one, this one is one of the customer issues, customer requests that I mentioned earlier. And so this is deploy keys API. And what we're trying to solve here is extend the endpoint to for the user to retrieve all of the available deploy keys that they have access to. So right now, it's not very clear that they're not able to do this themselves in a self-service way. And rather they have to kind of reach out and contact the administrator for these keys. We want to allow that workflow, that process to be a little bit more streamlined and self-service. Okay, the next one here, another customer issue, but also really important for the environment management work that we've been doing the past few milestones. This one here is log auto stop environment actions. And so we have capabilities to help users manage all of the environments that they might have and be creating as part of their development and deployment process. We do have capabilities for GitLab to help automatically stop those. And we want to make sure that that action is audited properly for future auditing future compliance reviews, and so on. So we want to capture those actions. Okay, that's it in terms of highlights for the engineering work we're planning in 15.1. I'm going to now pass it over to Hayana for the design work that we'll be doing.
Right. We are wrapping up the solution validation study for the environments page that we talked about last kickoff video. So far, we had 5 sessions with different users, different customers from small to medium to large size organization. And we learned from these interviews that users find it difficult to find at-a-glance information related to their environments and deployments on the environments page overview, right? What we wanted to validate was the usability, but also gather some insights about what's important to them on that view. Just as a quick summary, participants found that the process of setting up the deployments and environments is difficult, but once that's done, it's just a click, right? And at the same time, mostly due to the amount of setup required behind the scenes and the challenges with maintainability of their environments and deployments, they want a better way to visualize, let's say, a more robust set of data about their environmental skill for quality and audit purposes. So for example, what pipeline or what job is related to a specific environment or deployment, who approved it, when, what's the state, and be able to navigate from the environments view to other places or the pages of CI/CD capability, right? So in 15.1, I'll be working on making some recommendations based on the learnings from these interviews and work on the overall experience of the page so that we can better integrate environments with CI and CD features, and then improve the overall usability of environments. So this is a research issue, it's confidential. That's why we are not sharing on screen, but you can see here a related issue about the redesign of the environments detail page. And then next up, it's also a research issue that is confidential. We are working on a benchmarking for release as a better way to understand and address some of the user feedback we receive via SUS, via surveys. And Will, the UX researcher that works with our team, will conduct a usability benchmarking study to identify specific usability issues within areas of GitLab that are connected to the release stage, and then turn that into granular recommendations. So again, linking back the findings with the work that we are doing and that we are planning for this year. So Chris and I, in the coming weeks, are going to help. We'll determine what tasks we want to cover with the study, the participants we want to recruit, and the data that we want to collect. And now to OKR alignment. So that's the last 2 links you see on page. This quarter, we start working on the SUS and OKRs recommendations for release. We have been preparing already some of the design issues, and our goal is to have them ready for development in Q2 so that Chris can prioritize and our team can build and these improvements into production. So those are S2 self-impacting issues for release. There are some of them already scheduled for implementation in 15.0, 15.1, and 15.2. So super exciting updates coming up in the coming milestones. Yeah. Next up for me is the show deployment approval comment in the UI. This is a problem also related to the environment management that we want to surface comments left by users when reviewing or approving a deployment. Right now, you can add, approve or reject a deployment, add a comment, but then that comment is not displayed in the UI. It's logged in the API, and we want to surface that for the non-technical users, but also that this information is available for audit release events. Next is group level UI for protected environment settings. This is also a cool problem that we want to solve for large enterprise organizations, right? That have to set specific permissions for their users or and roles and users in their groups so that cascade to the projects. We can do that today in the API, and we want to be able to set that at the group level in the UI as well. So this is a problem that we are already solving and thinking about how to implement, and I'm working on refining the UI proposal so that our front-end engineer, Andrew, can pick it up in 15.2. And the last one is a stretch, is the org level environment management. So Chris and I have been talking about this larger problem of surfacing and managing environments at the higher level. So in 15.1, we're going to start talking a little bit about ideation of the problem, how we want to tackle it, do a think big within team, and figure out how the iteration plan for this problem. So it's a really cool one. It's going to be interesting to see how we're going to expand and also continue to work on environments and environments management with GitLab. So that's it for me. Thanks.
On mute. All right. Thank you, Hayana. Really exciting updates. I'm excited all the work we're doing, all the design work, and partnering with you and helping figure out what's next for some of those big major features we have coming up on our roadmap. So thank you all for watching. If you have any other questions, feel free to ping us on the planning issue. And looking forward to next time. Thank you.